Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Taurus. And our card tonight is the Queen of Discs. This is from Tarot of the Abyss deck. Okay, and let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Look at this. We have the head of a lion right here. You can see the nose. Here would be the mouth. It's kind of side profile looking this way. Okay. And immediately I'm like, okay, this, I know it would be maybe more, you would think, okay, this is like maybe a wand's energy. But we have that Queen of Pentacles. For me, this is like Earth Mama, right? Earth Mother energy. And then we have this kind of lioness, right? More of that, just would do absolutely anything for the family. Anything for the kids, anything for the grandkids. And there is at times almost a brutality in that. You know, kind of this ask me what I wouldn't do, you know? And so I feel like there is just this kind of like, it's a burning love for you and yours. You absolutely are somebody, I think, that is very family-centric. You are devoted to those who you are close to. You are somebody also who is really very, you stick up for people, right? If you were to witness, and maybe even when you were a kid, right? If you were to witness somebody being bullied, you would be right in there sticking up for them. You would not allow that to go on around you. And within your family, absolutely, you would not put up with that kind of thing happening from anybody on the outside or anybody within. You know, no infighting, no bullying, none of that. You are somebody who, you know, I probably in a position of being kind of head of the family or, you know, kind of the backbone of the family. You know what I mean? Even if there's somebody else who's kind of the head of the family, this is the real head of the family, okay? And so I do, there's the heart right there. And I just feel like, I don't know, maybe you are getting ready to be spending some time, maybe going on like a getaway with the family. Maybe there's a family reunion happening. Something where you're kind of getting everybody in the same place at the same time, which is probably not easy, you know, with everybody's busyness and all the kids and, you know, all their things they have going on. But I think you're really looking forward to it. And it feels kind of like the big focus of your life, you know? And I think that's something that you cherish, definitely. So we have, it looks like it says C-U-T, so cut. But then we also have, if you kind of put this part out, it looks like we have almost like a priest holding a crucifix and then another person over here. I'm wondering if you grew up in a religious family of some kind. It doesn't have to be Christian. I mean, maybe though, you know, we do have that crucifix, but it could, I think really the feeling I'm getting here is there seems to be a sense of growing up in, and I'm looking at this, I have a person here, I have a person, like a child right here, and then a person here with, ooh, they have pretty eyes. You can see the eyes there, and the head, and the hair, and, you know, then there's the child kind of attached to them. Now, this one feels more like a grandmother figure, with a beautiful kind of painted face. You can see the eyes, and the eyebrow, and blush rouge on the lips and cheeks, and I almost kind of, I feel like there's this sense of being raised around a community or a culture that you didn't really feel like you fit into. That's not to say that you didn't enjoy aspects of it. I feel like there was a closeness there, but there was also a sense of just like, I don't fully fit into this. And I feel like as you got older and started to have your own life, and, you know, maybe you had your own kids or your own chosen family, you created a world around yourself, you decided that you would create a life that was far more inclusive to the people around you. I think that's the big thing, is that when you were a kid, that there was maybe this kind of, there were real ideals and maybe even, you know, just kind of rigid rules and ideas about life that made you feel guilty about your nature, or, you know, just very kind of natural instincts that you had. And it was, you know, it made you feel like a bad person in some ways, like something was wrong with you. And so I feel like as you had your own life, you got away from being at the center of this kind of, you know, community that you were raised in. There was a sense of, yeah, I'm not gonna make people feel that way. You know, I'm gonna lead from a place of love, and I want to make everybody feel included and accepted, and you know, able to be themselves around me. And so I see this beautiful face, and I see this child, and I feel there's that motherly energy, that earth mama, you know, like really, you know, embracing all that come through those doors and enter your home, your sacred space. You have an open heart. You are somebody that is very understanding. I can imagine that other, you know, maybe you had kids and their friends, they would come to you to talk. They trusted you, you know. Now, the thing about this, the earth mama energy, or earth parent energy, and this is not unlike Callie, is that, yeah, accepting, open, loving, and present, consistent, at the same time, willing to do whatever it takes to keep the wellness of the family going. And sometimes that doesn't look pretty. Sometimes, you know, that is making very difficult decisions. Sometimes that is cutting people out of your life who bring in judgment and meanness and hurtfulness, and, you know, even to the level of being abusive, or you know, whatever it is. And so you protect yours. You absolutely do. And I see in this, you know, there's just a sense of being a person that people really trust, and, you know, and really making as much of the decision as you can, but not impeding on other people's paths. And that is a very delicate, very narrow line to walk. It's hard. And sometimes, you know, we wobble, right? And sometimes, you know, you just want to keep your kids from harm's way. You want to keep the grandkids, your family, your love, your beloveds, from having to make the mistakes that you've made. But the reality is, and I think that you know, that sometimes they do have to make those mistakes. Sometimes they have to find out for themselves. But will you be there to support them? Of course. Will you be there to love them? Of course. You know, and so I feel like there's just an absolute strength in you. I mean, just so steadfast and at the same time very free and open, and I don't, you know, it's a beautiful mixture of aspects. Now let's take a look and see what else do we have going on here. So we have, it looks like a dog right here. We have a person holding out, it looks like an offering, holding out kind of a plate of something as an offering. So we also have, it looks like somebody planting. So I feel like this is a time where, you know, and this has to do with work and finances and maybe having a business or whatever it is. With that dog, it feels like, you know, and that is that saying, like working like a dog, right? I feel like you are absolutely so dedicated to the work that you're doing. I feel like you are really trying to get into a financially stable place. You know, try to have some kind of savings built up. And you are sowing your seeds. So I do feel like there is a sense of maybe doing a side hustle or a business, or, you know, you have your work and then your day job and then you're doing other things. Part of it's because you're a Taurus and you're just a busy person. You have a lot of energy. You know, the other thing is that you're just so dedicated and you want the best for everybody, and yourself included. So I can see you really putting in the work to lay down this foundation to get things going, and tending those crops as they begin to grow. Now, part of this is by, you know, making offering. Now, this could be that you actually keep an altar and you are putting out offerings, or, you know, you make offerings. And I'm thinking of like putting fruit in the window, or, you know, one that I like to talk about a lot is, on my readings, is appeasing the backyard spirits. And a lot of times those are the animals, the birds and the squirrels and this kind of thing. So making friends with them by offering them water and food and, you know, seeds and things like that. Or just living in a way where you are not, you know, you're not at odds with each other so much. And, but I also think that this seems to be an indicator of being somebody who maybe volunteers, is of service. Now, I do think that when we are trying to become successful in whatever we're doing, or if we have become successful, it is not only our duty, but it is truly something that needs to be balanced out by giving of our time. Now, maybe you don't have the money yet, right? You don't feel like, you know, you're not going to be donating money necessarily. And I'm not advocating for that. That's not the only kind of, you know, service that we can do. But the big thing is time, putting in time somewhere. You know, if you go, work at like a animal shelter, or maybe, and you know, again, if you watch any of my readings, one of my big causes in my heart here is spending time with people who are elderly, spending time with even family members who maybe they're getting a little older, they live alone, or you know, maybe they're slowing down a little bit, or maybe they're in a care facility of some kind. Making sure that you are going and seeing them, sitting with them. You know, it does not take a lot, and it absolutely is something that everybody needs. Everybody needs somebody to be with. It doesn't have to be every day, but you know, we all need, that's the big thing. Getting old, a lot of people in this world, especially, you know, I'm in the United States, but in the United States, a lot of people are getting into that, you know, over 70 age group. Okay, over 60, over 70. And so when you get up into those years, up into the 80s, the 90s, and so on, and of course you've probably lost a lot of people that you have, you know, grown up with, you've lived your life with, you've been through many eras of being. You know, so many people end up not having anybody to come see them. You know, their families don't visit with them. So even going to volunteer at a rest home, or, you know, something like this, so that, you know, there is a sense of being cared for, being remembered, being listened to. This is one of the ultimate gifts that we can give. It doesn't, you know, it may not seem like a lot, but it is. You know, the people, I mean, they come undone in the loneliness of life. And that's all age groups, isn't it? But especially when, you know, you lose your ability to maybe even travel freely. Maybe you can't drive, can't leave the place that they're in, you know. And so it is dear to my heart. It truly is. I grew up with my great-grandmother and my grandmother who had Alzheimer's. And they lived with us for a period of time when I was a kid, over some years. And, you know, I saw the progression of Alzheimer's and dementia. But I also saw how important it was for them to have connections with people. And now even, and you know, I'm sure it's okay that I speak on this, but my acquired mother, who I'm very close with now, she's not my biological mother. My biological mother passed away when I was a child, or 11. And my acquired mother, I've known her for 20 years, and we see each other often. She was just here yesterday, and she brought me flowers and things, but recently was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. And I could, I feel so, I didn't think that was gonna, you know, but it is something that, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry for, I didn't think it was gonna get like that. But you know, even before all of this that's going on, and you know, it's been something that we've been looking at for the last couple of years at least. And but yes, it's something that's always, you know, been dear to my heart. And so I'm sorry for I know, and you guys all will tell me don't say sorry for crying, but yeah, I'm very passionate about this particular thing. Is, you know, I personally am a solitary person, pretty much, and I like to be alone, but I know that a lot of people, they need people in their lives, and And so, you know, I have great empathy for those who their life changes in a way that feels, I mean, it can feel quite devastating to get to, you know, you've had this full life and then suddenly you're in a place where you're lonely a lot of the days, you know, and you live in a world that doesn't necessarily seem so familiar anymore. And that, you know, to me, that breaks my heart. So I bring it up a lot. So, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, there's a sense of really needing to, when we do start to come into a place of success on any level, right? Whatever it is that we have going on, I am very, very sure, and this is maybe superstitious, but I'm very sure that it needs to be balanced out by service. And to, you know, give of yourself in some way. And so, you know, I think this is something to consider. Now, it could be anything. Maybe you like to do other things. There's a guy on YouTube I love to watch. There's actually two of them. And they are, and I can't think of their names, but you can kind of look it up. And they're the main two ones that I've seen. But they go and do yard work for people for free. They go and cut like overgrown grass and clean up the landscaping and stuff. And it really, you know, obviously they're making content, so they're getting something of it. But still, the way that they, you know, interact with the community, and they're very like non-judgmental and open and you know, giving of their time and efforts. It is a beautiful thing to me. You know, I look at this and I think, you know, I just hope that we all can find something, even it doesn't have to be some huge thing, but something that we can do for each other, you know, you know, we are tribal people at the core. We are people of community. We are people that are, you know, beings that are social. Even if it doesn't always feel that way, we are. And so it is not only a blessing for whoever or whatever you were spending time with, or, you know, being of service to, it is also a blessing for you. Okay, let's see. Now we have a cow and we have a bird. It looks like a crow. So the cow for me is always, unless it's obviously the bull, right? A Taurus. The cow for me is always the mother. I think of Hathor, which is one of my husbands. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. Paul over there, the best tarot reader ever. It is one of his patron goddesses. Hathor is. So I have come to have quite a fondness for her. And so I look at this and I think, you know, there's a sense of, and for me, the raven is often, or the crow is often related to a father archetype. And so I feel like there is this kind of meeting of these two wise beings. And you can see they're looking face to face here. You can see the cow on this side. Let me get my stick. The cow on this side and the little bird, the raven, kind of sitting there face to face, looking at one another. And this doesn't have to be like overtly, yeah, mom and dad. But I do feel like there's this sense of balance in movement of energies, kind of that lunar and solar merging. But I feel like this is so much about love, the style of loving, to be very nurturing and very present in the moment of family, of bestowing kind of your time and energies on somebody, you know, just being very close, but also in that raven crow, having the vision and there is a wisdom there, right? Sharing from a place of kind of being somewhat pragmatic, you know, not being overly sentimental or agreeable, right? I think that there's a sense of being honest, you know, and making that a priority, but in a way that is not oppressive, in a way that is giving a choice, giving some input, but not to tell somebody what to do. And so there is this beautiful balance there. And then we have a J and a U. J-U. I don't know what that would be exactly. All right. My goodness. The crying. I just, you know, we've been talking about this a lot because we're trying to figure out within the family what things are going to look like going forward here. And it's a difficult situation, you know, because my acquired mom is actually my first husband's mother. And when he passed away, she and I had already been really close, but when he passed away, you know, I promised I'm going to be here. You know, you're my family, you're my mom. And so it's a weird situation. Most people are like, that's kind of strange, but, you know, I'm not technically family, but I'm family. I've been here for, you know, 20 years I guess 20 years now. So we are close, and so it is kind of deciding what all is going to be happening, and her husband, who is my acquired father, and I'm as close to him as I am with her, you know, trying to be a support for him, and so it is, you know, it's a lot of these conversations and doing a lot of things. It's part of, you know, why our lives are so busy is I spend a lot of, you know, whatever free time I end up having is spent between my daughter and, of course, you know, having some time with my husband, but also going and helping with my parents, you know, cleaning and errands and, you know, whatever. So, you know, I felt, whenever I talk about it, I'm like, you know, I don't get super emotional, but in my private moments, you know, I just absolutely. And so, I know I'm not supposed to apologize for crying, but I didn't think bringing it up was gonna hit like that, but it did. So thank you for being patient with me. All right. So anyways, we have the Wild Bohemian affirmation cards, and these are the fire sign. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to flip through here, and I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay. And we'll flip it over. It says, I am divine truth. You are an unfinished work of art. Sip the nectar of your evolving beauty. Sip the nectar of your evolving beauty. Ooh, I love it. It's it reminds me of like mana, or you know, kind of the nectar of the gods, the amaret, or you know, the ambrosia of the gods, which actually sounds hecka good. Oh my goodness. Have you ever had ambrosia salad? That's something I have not had in a minute. And thankfully, we're getting into the summer months, and this is when all those yummy salads start to come out. The other day I made some, you know, you cut up the cucumbers and tomatoes and a little bit of onion. I like it with a lot of onion. I love raw onions. And then put some chickpeas and garbanzo beans in there, and then you just mix together a kind of, I like to make my own like salad dressings, but kind of something like an Italian dressing. And whew, I'll tell you what, that got me in the mood for summer. That is like one of my ultimate summer meals. And I was just living in absolute divinity with that one. I was very excited. So anyways, looking forward to all the yummy meals coming up. So Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. Okay, I read them all. They mean the world to me. They absolutely do. And yeah, other than that, we'll talk in a few days. I thank you. It's almost Taurus season. Oh no, is it Taurus season now? I think it might be. I can't remember what the date is. It's like the 21st, maybe. 20th. Maybe, when does, I don't know. I have to look up exactly what day Taurus season begins, but we're here. We're right at the door. We're right in there. So happy birthday. If it's been your birthday already, happy birthday if it's coming up. And I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk soon. Good night. Good night. Good night.